So if I say I work for New Moon program, I'm not a big shot. So I'm not the one of those guys who make decisions, but I work on some of the small modules, I have to be very humble when I say that. So, yeah. So coming back to the point, I guess it was, so I used to do these sort of career counselings and, there's so forth, as a student, when I was at your place, I always wonder, what would my career would be. I'm pretty sure you guys also have these questions about,
Yes, so
what are
especially we
you,
are in second year, so this is that stage where we start figuring out that what is going to happen to us.
right, right, right. So, these are, I think the questions never change. Always students have questions, and I think the technology have changed. That's why we are interacting. But the problems and they stay the same. And what happened is during the COVID, so I used to guide students and all that, and always fun to interact with newcomers because it keep me feel like I'm not a 40-year-old but a 20-year-old. Put it this way. But I would say is I think it was April or June or some time when I posted something on LinkedIn about some students if they're looking for help, and a lot of students responded. Um, and then I started talking to people on LinkedIn, and I created this open platform on YouTube where you can, if you guys had got a chance to take a look to it, there were a lot of students that are discussing about their own particular problems, whether it as yet your stage or they are at looking to go into US to do their higher studies, or even people who are trying to do an MBA. Yeah, one thing I want to tell you. So after I finished my PhD, and now I'm also doing my MBA actually from Ohio State. It's an executive program, so for managers and so forth. So I completed a lot of a spectrum about my education, academics, you name it. I should have gone through that. So then I realized, that experience might help students like you. If you have a question that I can really answer, that would be great, because I believe that's like a career is more or less like a, when we have our like a health or a wealth checkup, like a wellness checkup, it's the same thing. We we should do our career checkups, and this was what I wanted, students where I can tell them about my experience, and most importantly, give them an honest opinion and not just hi Jyoti, we can finally see you now. Good job. Sorry if you missed any conversation, but your friends can tell you about. I was
No,
just
no,
telling
I
about
can
my,
pick up.
yeah. So as I said, this is then became about where I can provide my experiences, because I believe I am at the stage in my career where I don't have. I want to give it to student, but also I think I'm not like a 80-year-old or 60-year-old, but I'm that stage where I can resonate with the crowd like you, and really can tell you what should not be done, or at least give you the information, because I don't believe in preaching. I believe in providing you the information, because you guys are smart enough that I shouldn't be saying that do this or do that, like in our days at least professor used to say, or our parents say. I don't believe in that sort of ideology. I believe like I should provide you the information, and you guys are smart enough that you guys can then make your own decisions. And this is which I really like to do. That if you have a question, and then I would say, okay, if I was at your position, what would I have done? Because then I can make a concise decision, because I have all the data points that I know because of the successes and failures I have in my career. And to be honest with you, when I talk to someone and people say, hey, I get emails about people saying, "Hey, you are at amazing stage of your career and all that." Not many people realize that what are the failures associated with those when I'm if I'm here and doing whatever I do, which I love quite a lot. And I think this is the most important part of your career is um, like I can give you example of, let's say for example, our dads or my dad, for example. He grew up at a place, he got a job at that place, he retired from that place. Not much was happened, and most of our dads had the similar sort of a career, I would say. But I think our the um, if a student has a fire in his belly and they want to do something, then you will realize it doesn't come with successes, it comes with a lot of failures. So if you want to do something totally different, or if you want to do something new, the easiest thing for you would be, graduate and take a job, get married and have kids. That's the easiest path, right? And maybe you will have ups and downs, that will be associated with that, but not much. But if you decide to do something, take a leap or something in your career, right, then you will realize it doesn't come with success, it comes with a lot of failure. So you will be hammered like anything, and then you have to get up, again, you have to get up in. And then many times even I have those questions like, why would I even do that? Why should I take that pain? But as I said, if you look at all the great people in our modern age, I'm not talking about Mahatma Gandhi or even Tesla who died. I'm talking about Elon Musk or Steve Jobs. Like, you will see where they are and what they have done, how they have contributed to the society and to everything. You will see that that comes with taking that responsibility, and when you are at low stage of your career, or even you're depressed, or even you're thinking what's going on, especially this COVID and all, you always have to get up. And my job is, I feel like that this point that I can help out some of the students, that where they have in some state of confusion, or if they have to make a decision where that can change their life. One of the Actually, I had a seminar at IIT Indore 2 weeks back, and I told them one of the examples I had, that when this was 1999, and I had my, as like you guys, I qualified JEE exam, and then I went to IIT Kanpur to have my counseling done. I don't know how they do that now, but at those days you have to go to IIT Kanpur, and then you will have like booth there from IIT Kanpur. Those days were 6 IITs, right? BHU, and then you had Kharagpur, Bombay, Madras, and then all of them will sit there, and you will get a slip where you have to fill out like your first choice, second choice, third choice, fourth choice, and based on your ranking. And then everybody will put in there, and then they will like see what is out there, and what based on your ranking, what you can get. And I remember, so I had an uncle who was a admin at IIT Kanpur. So I did my bachelor's in mining engineering, right? So I was feeling like if I had to choose mining, I thought I should fill up IIT Dhanbad first, because that ISM Dhanbad, because that was like mining,
Yes, sir.
right? But then as soon as I filled it and I was walking towards submitting that paper, my uncle came and he said, let me check, what did you submit? And he saw, and then he checked it. Says, hey, he said, you should put BHU first, then Dhanbad. There's a small thing. And then my career became something different. And why I say that, because that was pure luck, I would say. But I don't want I don't like where luck plays a role in changing my career. I want to be in charge of my own, and how you can do it is by having the right information at the right time. Because I have been speaking to students now, a lot of students, where I feel, and they also felt that they wish they would have taught me 6 months back, right? And so for students who I'm assuming you are undergrad and second year or third year, this is a very crucial stage of your career, especially with COVID, where there's so much confusion out there. And you guys are always like thinking about what is out there, what we can do. The very small thing like, can we get a job if you guys want to get hired and work for a company? And to be honest with you, you will realize that even if you get a job, it's a moment of glory. But then you will realize, if you are a person where you feel like you want to do something different, you will feel like you need to move on. A lot of my friends have done that, I have done that, and so forth. So as I said, this was a nutshell the idea for me to reach you guys also, and reaching to a lot of students out there. And the other thing that I want to talk about is the space, because I'm in a stage where I can talk about that. Space research or space exploration, I don't think that you can open a channel today, or listen to a newspaper or whatever you guys listen to. You don't hear about anything happening in space. Space is like a new .com now. And I believe, like, as students at your stage, at your career stage, and I'm not talking about just US, I'm talking about India. India is a big, huge market, as well as a huge leader in space exploration. I think no matter what your career will take you, whether you become an MBA or a lawyer or a public policy guy, even you become a neta or you become a scientist, engineer, the only place I feel that you will have challenge, you have a challenge right now where you can tackle with amazing problems, is a space. Trust me, this is the new challenge, in just like in 60s, when people decided that they want to go to space, and Neil Armstrong and these people, really went there. I hold the Apollo mission. So I want to talk to about students, what's going on in space. I believe that I don't want them to left out and say, hey, this is something not, and at least tell them, who knows what happens. Like, you might have a spark in your brain and you're like, I really want to do something in this or whatever. And I feel I'm in this stage where I can, talk about it, the real stuff, and inform. So essentially, what I want to do is, and as you said, I'm just not just talking to you guys. There is there's a university in New Delhi, a private university called Shiv Nadar University. There is a seminar coming up the 7th, and then there is another one coming at IIT Roper on 15th. And so, as I said, I've been reaching out to a lot of students like you, and hopefully, and as I said, this doesn't have to be, this is not meant to preach you. So please make sure that this is an interactive thing. This is for you guys. This is for you to have benefit. So, it all depends on, when I stop talking, I want your feedback, like what you want to hear, what you want to know, because this is my perspective. And the reason I say so, because this is the data I have collected so far from the seminars and so forth that I have given to students, especially in India. But if you have something else you want to talk about, or any other questions, I can always talk about many other things. I can deep dive into details. I can give you the big overview. But the overall, what I want is that this webinar should be interactive, useful to you guys, something totally new. Like, this is not like you're going to a class and sleep. I don't want that to happen, because I used to sleep a lot, to be honest. This has to be different, and something out of from your coursework. And I want, when you listen to this seminar, I want you feel connected with it, and really feel that, this talks about the real stuff, not just about your course or research and all that. This should not be about that, and should be very helpful to you guys. And so, as I said, this is the reason I approached you guys. And what I want to buy, when we end up this session, pinpoint a date. I think we pin down the date, right, already?
Sir, actually, we decided about 22nd, but there's a minor issue. Basically, colleges calling back students on 22nd and 23rd.
Okay. Okay. I mean, as I said, there is no rush. Whenever you guys want, because, for me, the biggest challenge is I have to, I have to do my usual work, so I cannot do. But if you guys wanted to do before, we can find a date, maybe in your morning. I can stay a little late and do that. That's fine too. If you guys feel like we should do,
Also,
Sir, that would be
we were
preferable.
thinking that all this, uh, we were actually thinking that since like all the students would be moving on 22nd and 23rd, they
mhm.
would be settled by 24th, I believe. So is 24th okay for you?
Actually, it has to be any Fridays, which could be 29th, I believe, which is
Uh,
Friday. So it has to be like Friday, Saturday, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I
29th is
think
Friday.
29th is fine, sir.
Yeah. So we can do 29th, as I said, uh, whenever you guys. So it's like the colleges are open and they ask you to come now?
Sir,
Yes,
right
sir.
now the thing is
Our
that
college.
from 14th, online classes are also starting. So students will be occupied on all weekdays. All we have left is weekends mainly.
Oh, okay, okay. But are you guys moving
Akshat,
to?
but there is, I think, a slot, right, for academic activities on Friday after 12.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
We will try for that
we
only.
No, no. So what I'm saying is,
we
if you
have a
guys,
slot booked for talks.
right, right. No, no. What I'm saying is, if you guys can do this, um, like my time in the morning, which will be after your dinner time. You know, you don't tell me
Sure,
you
sir,
guys sleep at
definitely.
9 o'clock, right? Nobody sleeps in undergrad at
Oh, no,
nine
no,
o'clock.
no, not at all.
Definitely not in an IIT.
No, nobody sleeps at 9. That's what I'm saying. So it will work for me. So what I can do, we can keep that 10 a.m. EST slot for 29th, which is what time it will be, 10 a.m. EST, your time?
So maybe 8:30
Mm.
p.m.
Yeah, yeah. So that should work by the time you guys done with your dinner and everything, all right?
Okay, sir.
So we'll be done with our dinner, I think, by 9 or 9:30,
No, no,
due
no.
to the
Hang.
mess slots and everything.
So let's shoot up. Hang on, just 1 second. Just 10 a.m. EST
Sure,
to
sir.
IST. So we can do 11 a.m. EST, which will be a 9:30. Will that work better?
Yes, sir. Okay, that will also be fine.
Definitely, sir.
Okay, so let's shoot up. I'm gonna pin the date, and so what we will do is we will shoot up for uh, 11 a.m. on 29th, and this will be roughly about, as I said, this will be roughly about 1 hour to one and a half hour. IT Indore went to 3 hours, to be honest with you, because the student kept asking questions. I don't mind that, you know. It's like because I really want to get help to students. But what you guys can do then, I can share what IT Roper has. They had this Google Forms that they created, and basically, hang on, where is it? No, just 1 second. Okay. Okay. Can share my screen? Yes, I can. Yeah. So if you can see the screen, they have created this Google form,
Okay, sir.
and
Yeah, we got it.
yeah, yeah. So basically, what I asked them, I think I sent it to you guys. Put the name. Make sure they have their branch, year,
Yes, sir.
and this, as I said, this is not just for undergrad. This is for masters and PhDs also. So send out to everybody, whoever is interested, and so forth. So create a Google form and add my ID to that, so that I can see that, just like I can see it now, how many people have responded to it so far.
Yes, sir.
And as I said, if you want to create a poster, it's totally up to you guys. If you want to advertise it on LinkedIn or whatever, it's up to you guys. I don't have any problem with that. I can show you what they had as a poster too, if you guys want to take a look, just to get an idea.
Sure, sir.
Just 1 second. Okay. But as I said, this is totally for up to you guys, how you guys want to, proceed it. Just
Yes, sir.
yeah. Okay, share screen. One of you guys is a good singer. Okay, here is this. So something like this they have created. I don't know. You guys can use your own. I think you have a PDF, right? So you guys can use that or whatever. So they have created a post or something like this. So guys can be more innovative than them, I guess. So yeah, this is in a nutshell. So okay, so 29th, 11 a.m. my time. Okay, that, and I will send you the information. And as I said, I have a Zoom link, so don't worry about that. I will send out a Zoom link that will work for around 300 students. I think IIT Indore has like 150 students, so 300 is quite a lot. I don't think and this is, as I said, this is not for everyone. So it's not like I'm trying to say, hey, everybody should attend it or whatever. Anybody who's like it, even if it is one student, I sincerely don't care. I really want to help reach out to the person who needs this the most. So, just so yeah, so if you guys have any question on your own, remember this is your one-on-one session too. So if you guys have any question on your own, just shoot me right now, and hopefully I can answer them if you have any. But other than that, I think from my end I have spoken. But if you guys have any questions.
Sir, not questions, just I wanted to share that I'm a big fan of Lockheed Martin, both the space and the fighter plane segment of that.
Good. But just let you know, at least by Lockheed Martin. When I was undergrad, I had no idea what the company was. So you are better than me. That's another thing that one has to understand is it's always good to have ambitions, because there's a saying that you can't climb a ladder by looking downwards. You have to look upwards. So that's always a good thing. But make sure you do something because you enjoy it. That's the most important part. Doesn't matter.
Yes,
Even if you like cooking and want to make your career, there are many YouTube cooking chefs that you can see are doing really good thing, right? So it's all about creation, something new. And I'm not saying that this is what I enjoy, or so. I'm still figuring it out what I want to enjoy and what I want to do. So life is always about that. So keep exploring. Don't stop. Never stop saying that I don't want to explore. Keep exploring things. And many times as an undergrad, one of the mistake that I did, I thought that I love this a lot and this is what I want to do. This is the biggest mistake undergrad does, in my opinion, because you don't know what is out there. You are still in a well, and as they say, a frog in a well can only see that much of a sky. And trust me, it is exactly like that. Because you never know what you're going to love. So one of the example I can give you, when I was an undergrad, and this is very common thing about undergrad, we study everything other than our books, right? So when I was undergrad, we were like, this is the boring thing because I have to study, right? But we had friends who were reading Economic Times, who were reading everything other than books, because this is what we thought, the boring books or whatever they were. I think that's okay, but one other thing I realized, and I'll give you one example. I don't know, are you guys in mechanical, material, civil? What you guys are?
Sir, personally, I am from
So I am
computer
in
science.
chemical.
Okay.
I am from mechanical.
Okay.
And I am from chemical.
Okay. And
I'm from civil.
Okay. And Akshat, you?
Sir, I am from computer science.
Computer science, right? So here is the thing. So if you ask me, when I was doing my undergrad, I was doing in mining engineering. So I think of everybody was saying, what are you going to do in your life, right?
Yes, sir, exactly.
And because it was so, everybody looked down upon that stream, and we did that too, to be honest with you. Like, oh my God, mining, who wants to do mining, right?
Yes, sir.
But I can tell you that if I was not doing that, I will not be here. Right? So think of that once. And the reason why I tell you this now, because first thing that we have to do in moon is moon mining. That's the biggest goal we have. It's not about computer science. It's not about something else. It's about mining. And the reason I am at this position to do that, because I have a degree in that. Otherwise I was not. So think of how amazing it is now. So whatever you do, just trust on it. Right? Because if you believe on something, it's not like, I mean, as I said, I hated doing that. We visited a lot of coal mines in Dhanbad and all that. If I show you some of my picture, we have all coal in our face and in our clothes. We hated that, it was that bad. We always looked upon I wish I would have done computer science, but those days, even I had a rank like, I don't know, 1800 or something. We couldn't get anything. because they were like 2,000 or 2,500 seats those days, right? But as I said, it's not about that, and that's the reason I said your career will land up somewhere. What you do now has nothing to do with what you would actually do. Actually what you do is about your interest.
And so
Otherwise you
basically,
will.
this is precisely the thing we need other students to hear from you. Basically, they are all like, uh, they are bit of upset because they are not, they are like, they know that nothing gonna special gonna happen in their branch. So many of them are even trying to get MTech in IITs, although they are doing bachelor from IIT itself. And many are thinking like it is not possible to do masters or higher education in US because of financial problems. So that is the thing they need to be enlightened upon.
Yeah, but, as I said, I'm not a guru that gonna preach you. As I said again,
Yes.
I can only tell you what I would have done, and the reason I say so is because for me, when I talk to you guys, I know what you guys are thinking because it's so obvious for me. Because as you said, the is exactly the same thing. Is there's nothing, the problems doesn't change, and the biggest thing why it happens again and again, because we don't learn from history. And the reason we don't learn from history, because we don't have the information. Let's say, for example, if I am the person, if I become Anupama's or Jyoti's personal career coach, and every day I talk to you, think of how amazing your life would be. I can trust you. And this is what is it all about. you know a person that is in
Correct.
that position, that is able to tell you, hey, what you are doing is right, or probably tweak this way or that way. Because at your stage, what the students do, either they are confused, or they're worried about their GPAs, or they do about what marks I get. Who cares? I mean, I don't know what marks I got in
Correct.
my mathematics exam, or whatever, or my mining course. Yeah, they matter a little bit here and there, but trust me, if you are, I think the most important thing you guys have to understand is you need to feel about what really interests you, to be honest with you. I think these 4 years are one of the best years that you really guys need to churn yourself as much as you can. I mean, I'm not saying that don't have fun. Trust me, watch the Three Idiots movie. This is what the undergrad is all about, have fun and all that. So churn yourself, even if it was the first time when I had my beer, right? Because in India, if I'm at home, my father will beat hell out of me if I would have alcohol at home. But the first time when I went to BHU, it was like free money and everything, and we had booze, but I didn't become drunk. You know what I mean? So you do everything, you learn from those experiences, but the people who became I have one of our good friend who went to a bad direction because he used to drink a lot. I'm not saying do that, but what I'm saying, experience whatever you want, because this is the only time you will do that, never would in your life. And that where you will learn quite a lot. So when you wake up, start your day, every day, do something different. And nowadays I would say students would have less excuses because of the technology. I mean, our time we didn't have internet in our dorms, or even this iPads. This was the first time the phone was coming. Actually, I remember we had one friend, my roommate, who had this big Nokia, I think probably a feet long phone, mobile phone. And those were days. I mean, I'm talking about the phone was uh, first of all, there was no smartphone, right? The smartphone just came in 2006, when iPhone 3 came. So there was no smartphone. We had this, and then Nokia phone started coming in and all that. So I'm talking about those days. The information was very limited. Internet was there, but we had to go outside to surf internet. I remember the way we used to send email to professors is we had this. I don't know whether you know the floppy disk, the black color, if you guys know
Yes,
that.
sir.
We used to write emails in our
Yeah.
computer. Yeah, we used to write emails in our computer in that floppy disk, and copy in that floppy disk and run outside, because he used to charge 20 rupees an hour. And we used to copy, open rediffmail.com, copy it quickly and send it and come home. And then so we had all our grammar correction, everything done at our computer. This was not like live we were doing as we do now. So as I said, that's why the technology has changed, media has changed, and so you guys shouldn't have any excuses, because the information is a lot. But at the same time, there is a lot of a lot of nonsense out there too. Like for example, today if I start say, okay, let me read about nuclear physics, and I go online, and suddenly there is this advertisement pops up about this uh, some guy in Jammu making some nice recipe food, and I go there
Yes.
and I started watching it, right? So I'm talking about the distractions. They are quite a lot too. So it just, make sure you're so content. I mean, there is nothing wrong in watching that too, but just figure out what you want to do. That's all I have to say. And then most important thing, believe in yourself. And as I said, there's something that I will want to keep it for the seminar,
Yes.
what I want to talk about. But as I said, um, this 4 year, my only advice would be try everything. Just don't restrict yourself on one thing. Explore as much as you want, because you will never in your life will get up that chance ever. Yeah. So okay. And then, as I said, have fun. That's the most important thing. If you're not having fun, then you're losing on something. Okay, guys. Anything
Sir,
else?
I had
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, I had a question. I have done some research on like what all is available for us as engineering students in the space research field, and there is very like less about the options we have as a chemical engineer. Could you tell us something about that? Like,
Yeah, no, I know
using
what
that
you.
as a core, have you seen some?
I mean, I
Yes,
can tell
because I
you.
did reach out to other people as well.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell you, Anupama, one thing is space. You remember when I started my talking about a little bit of space, I didn't even mention engineering. I talked about law. I talked about management.
Yeah,
So space is a field where, I
yeah,
mean, if I go to engineering, I mean, I can talk about each and every field like for an hours. Space is a field where we have to come up with new legal litigations. Who will hold new geopolitics, who will own moon. I'm not talking about just engineering. I mean, this is the field
right.
where this is this is the field that I believe integrates everybody.
Right.
See, space is, whenever we think about space, the first thing that comes to our mind was what? A rocket launching from Earth, right? It's not about that. It's much more than that.
Yeah, yeah, that's the basic picture.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's why we said what I'm doing if I'm not launching anything. No, no. Space is about a lot. It's not about just launching. It's the preparation, the launch, the exploration, and then moving on from there. There's a lot there, right? So chemical engineering, if you ask me, chemistry or chemical engineering plays a huge role in anything. I mean, I had to learn quite a lot from chemical engineering, chemistry. Let me tell you one thing. Whenever we talk about these science, right? Math, chemistry, physics, engineering, all that. These are all intermingled. Actually, you can't separate them.
Right,
And
yeah,
most importantly, when I say that, I really mean is if you if you're fortunate enough to work in a company or work in an organization or work in a project which is very interdisciplinary, you will realize you have to learn everything. But if you are
definitely.
if you are, I mean, I will tell you a very simple thing, very, very simple thing as an example. Let's say you become in charge of making product manager for Pepsi. Let's say very simple thing, right? And they said, hey, how come we come up with a new Pepsi bottle that has 0 calories and contains like 25 ounces of Pepsi in it? Think of the amount of work that goes in there just to design the bottle, come up
Yeah,
with a new design. Okay, what will be the chemistry of that 0 calorie drink is and all that. So it's, I'm talking to engineers, first of all. I'm not talking to students of humanities and arts. So you just think of then, like, it's not that easy. You have to come with an entire from a mechanical engineering point of view, you have to come up with the entire forming processes, that how you will come up with that
Yeah.
bottle. From chemical engineering point of view, how to even come up with the chemistry that allows it to make a 0 calorie, keeping the same taste. I'm just, as I said, I'm just giving you an example. So, as I said, and then talk about space. I mean, dude, chemistry is everything. Chemical engineering, I mean, propulsion, for example, right? um, I mean, I will give you just one example that I posted today on LinkedIn, if you guys are connected with me. Nuclear propulsion system that is coming up. They're talking about new Mars exploration. I mean, we are talking about moving beyond chemical propulsion to nuclear propulsion. And what are the limitations of chemical propulsions? I mean, just as an example. So the whole propulsion system, current propulsion system, is a chemical engineering process. So you can't say that where the chemistry
Yeah,
plays a role.
absolutely.
Yeah, so they're huge. And I mean, you can be a program manager where you can look at things from the top, and you can say I am a system integrator. But you can be a person who is in charge of coming up with new propulsion system for space. I mean, you will make billions. I mean, probably win the Nobel Prize. So who knows? So it's not like you know only this one or that one, or this doesn't play a role. As he said, I'm the guy who has done his undergrad from mining engineering. I should be the one who should have been worried about that the most, right? So you know as he said, this is not the case. And what happened is, I can tell you this. We were developing this new team to for Mars exploration. And we were talking to professor at Missouri Rolla University. She's a pretty, and from University of Notre Dame. This guy's a Oxford guy, pretty British, and was talking about geology and all that. Trust me, if whatever he was talking, I was able to understand it quite well. I was not the expert, but I was able to understand what he was saying. And then when I told him about some of the questions that I was talking about the slope stability and how the fracture surface will behave and how would you fracture the rock and all that, and some of the 3D rock mechanics questions. He asked me this question. He said, have you taken a course on geology? So I told him, I said, I had an undergrad in mining actually. And he was like, oh my goodness. So I was just I was just telling you, and the same thing happened with me, because my undergrad is mining, but my master's is in civil. Then my PhD is in mining, postdoc is in material science. So I moved so much. I can talk to anybody in length about the work. So as he said, don't stop yourself doing just one thing. You will realize that there are
So,
so
so
many things that
in
you can.
general, yes, sir. My question was like, in general, do you ever believe that what we take up in bachelor's would restrict us, like in a career or in a further
No.
studies?
I will give you a very short answer. So when I finished my PhD, I was applying to jobs and all that. So I applied at IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, sorry, and IIT Bombay and IIC Bangalore, where I got interviewed. But IIT Delhi, the question they said, why you want to come into mining? Sorry, why you are applying into mechanical engineering, because your bachelor's is in mining engineering. So as you said, people are short-sighted sometimes. I can. That's why I'm saying this is the information I can tell you, that
Yes,
uh, the more
Definitely.
information you have, the better you are off, especially in today's world. Think of a CEO of a company, right? A CEO of a company, a CEO of a Pepsi, or CEO of even a McKinsey, or a CEO of a Lockheed, or a CEO of any company. I mean, do you think his knowledge is like this much? I mean, he's the overarching guy. He should be knowing about everything. He should know about finance. He should know
Yeah,
about strategy. He should know about supply chain. And this is just the management. Then he should know about how to file a patent. He should know about the processes. This is about legal thing. Then he should know about, if you are an engineering company,
yeah,
then he should know about the product. He should know about the chemistry and everything. I mean, as he said, the one of the guy that you guys can follow is Elon Musk, and what he says. You don't have to listen to me, right? So I don't think that those days are there. I think the world has become very interdisciplinary. I don't think that, but having said that, I would also say you will need people who are experts and experts in certain topics. Of course, you will need those, but you have to define who you belong to. Are you a subject matter expert, or are you an integrator, or are you a leader, or are you a manager? This but the day you will define yourself, who you are, what you belong to, do that, I think you will do excellent actually. And whatever you are doing undergrad, trust me, 10 years down the road you will not doing the same thing. I can bet you that. Nobody does that. Maybe some of you guys won't see chemical engineering as you leave your 8th semester exam. So, but only thing I will tell you for sure is that whatever you are doing, learn it properly. Like, not as for getting marks, but as an understanding. Learn it. That is more important. Yeah. Because right now, sometimes I have to revise my mining engineering because I was thinking like I didn't read it properly. I wish I could actually. Now it's coming to my brain is like, oh dude, I should have done a better job, But as I said, yeah. But as you said, most importantly, as you said, have fun, but explore as much as you can. No matter what it is, what topic it is, explore. Don't sit and do anything. Just 1 second.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So that's it, I guess. Any other questions you guys have?
Sir, right now, no questions from my side.
Okay. If not, then as I said, from my end, I will send you an email and a Zoom. We are booked for 29th. If any change happens, let me know. Or from my end also, if I feel like I have some, IT Indore, I have to reschedule it because of some personal reasons. We live in a COVID world now, so. But other than that, everything is good. I think create a Google form. If you guys decide whatever to advertise, do it. Send out to students in your institutions, and we'll talk on 29th. Okay.
Sure, sir.
And it was my pleasure meeting you all, and good to hear from you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Bye.
See you soon, sir.